Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and you're watching Step Ladder, and I hope that you all are doing fine and good. And in this session we are going to discuss and learn about the concept of food chains and food webs. That is our today's topic from your our environment. That is your chapter 15 from your biology part of your NCERT class 10 CBSE science textbook. And this video is going to be the part 2 of the series of our environment. And let's start our today's session without much delay. So let's start our session with this amazing quote, that is Ideas Matter, given by Sundar Pichai, who's the CEO of Google as well as the CEO of Alphabet. I guess this quote is it is very suitable for the youngsters. We should remember that the ideas matters, it has very value. It has a lot of value than the marks that you gain in your test papers. So if you have an amazing or if you have a unique idea, this is going to change the whole world. Got it? So remember that ideas matters a lot. So with this amazing quote, let's start our today's session. So in this session, we are going to learn about the food chains and food webs. So today we are going to learn about food chains and food webs. So this is our today's topic. So let's start our session. So basically we need to know what is food chain. So a food chain, it is a series of organisms, each dependent on the next source of food. It means that it is like a cycle that keeps on going and moving, and it is like a series, or it is a chain of organisms in which each of the organism, it is dependent on the another organism for the need of food or for the source of food, so that it can consume food, right? So one organism eats the another organism for the source of food. Hence this is called as your food chain. And from this definition, I guess you can observe that a food chain shows the transfer of energy within an ecosystem. It means that whenever one organism or a particular organism consumes another organism as a source of its food, it means that energy gets transferred in each of the levels, and hence this is called as your food chain. I guess the concept is clear very well. A food chain shows the transfer of energy. Remember that in food chain you can observe the transfer of energy. So the transfer of energy takes place in each of the trophic levels. So we will discuss about the trophic levels in the upcoming slides. Now let us see what is food web. So as we are talking now about the food chain, so food chain, it is like it is a simple linear series of steps, while your food web, it is more complicated and it's very complex. Got it? And energy gets transferred between organisms when one organism eats another. As I said before, that when one particular organism eats or consumes another organism for its source of food, it means that the energy gets transferred in each of the level. It means that the energy gets reduced. There is a loss of energy too in each of the levels. It gets diminished, right? So remember that point. And from this image, I guess you can see from this picture, for your better understanding, I inserted this picture of food chain. So you can see you have your green plants, you have grasshopper, you have rats, you have raccoon, and you have your owl and the fungi. So from this you can understand that it is like a series, or it is like a cycle of food chain, right? So basically, remember, in the first level of your food chain, in the first step, always you have your producers, right? So your producers, they are basically your autotrophs, as I said before, and they are independent as they prepare their own food on their own. Got it? And your green plants, they are consumed by your grasshoppers. It means the grasshoppers, and then your grasshoppers, they are your consumers. So your grasshopper and your rat, raccoon and your owl, they all come under the category of consumers, right? As they consume. So this is your food chain. So as you can see, green plants are eaten by your grasshoppers, and your grasshoppers are eaten by your rats, and rats are consumed by your raccoons, and raccoons are consumed by your owls, and the owls are decomposed by your decomposers known as your fungi, right? So fungi, it is a decomposer that decomposes your owl and other products so that it can break down into it can break down the compounds or inorganic or organic compounds into a nutritious product. Okay, so your fungi are your decomposers, which are at the end level in your food chain series. So your food chain basically starts with your producers, that is your green plants, and ends with your decomposers, that is your fungi and other bacteria and animals. Got it? I guess the whole concept is clear very well, and I hope so. With this clarity, let me move on with the next concept in this series. So your next concept is your food web. So we already discussed about your food chain, and now it is your food web. So what is your food web? So your food web, it is a system of interlocking and interdependent food chains. It means that your food web, as I said before, that it is very complicated and it's very complex than compared to your food chain. We know that your food chain, it is a simple linear series of organisms, while your food web, it is like a complex structure. It gives you some levels, and those levels are known as your trophic levels. So I guess food web concept is clear. Now let us see what is your trophic levels. So trophic levels, it refers or it denotes about the various levels in a food web as per the flow of energy. So that is your trophic levels. So from this picture, I guess you can see you have your producers. So as I said, that producers, they are independent, and basically your producers are your green plants and trees, which are autotrophs. It means they have autotrophic nutrition, right? So your green plants are autotrophs, and your producers, that is your green plants, they produce they convert the sunlight, that is your light energy, into the chemical energy with the help of sunlight, so that they can prepare their food, that is starch or sugar. That is the end product. Here will be your glucose in the process of photosynthesis, and hence they are called as your producers. So your producers are basically your autotrophs, and your producers, they stand at the first level in your trophic levels, and your producers are consumed by your primary consumers. So your this grasshopper, frog, raccoon, this all, they come under the category of consumers. And in consumers, you have 4 categories, that is your primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, and your quaternary consumers. And the trophic level ends with your decomposers, which are basically your fungi and some bacteria, cyanobacteria and all those stuff that decomposes the organic material into nutrients and humus that gets into the soil that are used by the plants for their growth. Got it? So this is the whole cycle of your food web. And remember that your primary consumers, they are basically herbivores. So as I said in the previous video, that herbivores are those organisms that eats or consumes only green plants. It is like vegetarian. Got it? And your secondary consumers are basically your secondary consumers. They consume the herbivores, that is they consume the primary consumers, and your secondary consumers are primary carnivores. So carnivores, as I said before, that carnivores are those organisms that consumes or eats only flesh or meat of an organism or animal or any other species. Got it? So that is your carnivores. It means that it is non-vegetarian. Got it? So just write it like this so that you can understand betterly, so that it will be in your mind forever. So then you have, in the third level, you have your tertiary consumers. So as you can see here, you have your T1, T2, T3, right? This T3 and T4, right? So these and all the trophic levels. Got it? So trophic 1, trophic level 2, 3, 4. Got it? And at last you have your decomposers. Remember that your trophic level and your food chain, food web, it always starts with your producers and ends with your decomposers. So that is the basic concept that you must know, so that you won't make any mistake in understanding this concept. So as now we were talking about the tertiary consumers. So your tertiary consumers, they consume your secondary consumers. So your tertiary consumers are secondary carnivores. Carnivores examples is like lion, tiger, owl and all those stuff. Got it? So herbivores examples your cow, etc. And then you have your quaternary consumers. So what is your quaternary consumers? So they are like the level 4 in the trophic level of organisms. So your quaternary consumers, they consume your tertiary consumers. That is basically your carnivores, right? And then at last level you have your decomposers. So in tertiary consumers, it can be like for example, you have whales, dolphins, and in your quaternary consumers, some examples are your lion, tiger, wolf. I guess it is clear. So as you can see, I said before, decomposers are those organisms. You can see here bacteria, fungi, examples of decomposers. And decomposers are those organisms that breaks down the inorganic or organic or waste material into an useful nutritious end product, which is used as humus by the soil, and in that soil it gets into the plant for the growth of the plant. So the plant even consumes those end products so that for its growth, to grow well. So these are your some trophic levels. That is level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. And remember, this is very very important. Your trophic level starts with producers and ends with decomposers. I guess the concept is very very clear. And with this clarity, and I hope so the whole concept was clear till this, let's move on with the next concept in the series. So you can just have a look at this picture. So basically remember that producers, you have consumers, in consumers you have 4 categories, and then it ends with your decomposers. So in consumers, as I said, that you have 4 categories. So those 4 categories are your primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, and your quaternary consumers. Got it? So you have 4 category, and the 4th category here is your quaternary consumers, which is not given in your textbook. So you all can just note it down in your notebook for your better picture and idea. So let's move on. So as I said before, that producers, they are independent. They are basically autotrophs. It means that they follow the autotrophic mode of nutrition, and they prepare their own food on their own with the presence of sunlight. That is, examples are your green plants and some bacteria. And there are some types of producers. So in producers you have 2 types. So as you can see here, you have 2 types of producers. So even this concept is not given in your textbook, so you can please note it down in your notebook for your better idea. So this will be very useful for you. This is just an extra knowledge or information for you, so please note it down. So as I said that we have 2 types of producers. So the first one is your phototrophs. So you have autotrophs, you have heterotrophs. In the same way you have phototrophs, and the second one here is your chemotrophs. So these 2 are the 2 types of producers. So what is phototrophs and what is chemotrophs? So your phototrophs are those organisms. So from the word, remember that before getting into the definition, I guess it all can see from the word photo. So photo basically means not image in biology or in chemistry. It means that light or solar power or sunlight, right? So photo means sunlight. Trops means organisms. It means that organisms that uses sunlight to prepare its own food, and hence they are called as your phototrophs. So phototrophs are those organisms that uses sunlight to make its own food or to prepare its own food. So those organisms are known as your phototrophs. And remember, in your phototrophs, so the phototrophs, those organisms, they make use of your protons. They use the protons to make their food. Got it? While your chemotrophs, they use the use the electron donors. It means that they use electrons. So what is chemotrophs? So chemotrophs are those organisms that use electron donors. They make use of the electron donors to make their own food, and hence these are called as your chemotrophs. And some examples of your phototrophs are your green plants, and certain bacteria. And remember that your phototrophs can either be autotrophs or heterotrophs. It means that they are photoautotrophs or photoheterotrophs. The same goes on for your chemotrophs also. So your chemotrophs, as I said, these are those organisms that uses electron donors to make its own food. So chemotrophs, even they are either autotrophs or heterotrophs. Got it? So some examples are, green algae and cyanobacteria. These are some examples of your chemotrophs. Even this includes your humans too. So note down the point. It includes humans as example in your chemotrophs. So remember that point. And I guess the types of producers, this concept is clear for all of you. With this clarity, let me move on with the next concept. I hope so the concept is clear. So let me move on with the next concept. So the next concept in this series is your pyramid energy. So what is your pyramid energy? So pyramid energy, it is not it's not like a definition or something. It is like a pyramid that shows the levels of energy. That's it. So don't get confused. It is just the energy level that is represented as a pyramid. In the form of pyramid, it is represented. So as I said that it always starts with your producers and ends with your decomposers. So pyramid energy, it is like a form of graphical representation in the form of pyramid, which includes the energy levels. So that's it. So that is your pyramid energy. I guess this is clear. So now let's see what is pyramid of energy or energy levels of pyramid. So pyramid energy, as I said before, it is a graphical representation. So this is the first point, and it can be the pyramid of numbers. So even it can be the pyramid of numbers, that is level 1, level 2, it just goes on. And it can also be the pyramid of biomass. So biomass, it means that it's related to your biogas process, right? It means that biomass, it means that it is related with your biogas process. And it can either be of pyramid of energy. So we discussed before about the pyramid of energy, that energy, right? So it can be that also. All the pyramids start with producers. So as I said before, that everything in this lesson, all the levels, it always starts with your producers. The producers, they are the basic. Got it? So remember that it's very important. So now let us see the definitions of each of the thing what we discussed before. So what is pyramid of numbers? So as I said, it gives the number of organisms present at each trophic level. It can be upright or inverted. So it can be upright or inverted means upright in the sense it can start either with the producers like this from the down position 1, 2, 3, or it can start like this, producers 1, 2, 3, inverted. It goes on like this, It means that it can be like this or it can be like this. Got it? So I guess this is clear very well. The second one is your pyramid of biomass. So as I said that it gives you the biomass of each trophic levels. Okay, that is your biogas process, and could be upright or inverted. It's the same thing goes on for pyramid of biogas. It can be either upright or it can be inverted. And the last one is your pyramid of energy. So pyramid of energy, remember, this always upright. It means that it starts from the down position. It means that it always starts with the producer. So it goes on like this. From down it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it? Pyramid of energy is always upright as it shows the flow of energy from one trophic level to the next trophic level. So pyramid of energy, it shows the flow of energy from one organism to another organism, or you can take it in the way of one trophic level to the next trophic level. So I guess this funda is clear very well. So let me move on with the next concept. So the next concept in the series is your characteristics of ecosystem. So what basically is the characteristics of your ecosystem? We are going to just see. You just have 2 points here. Let me say that. So in the characteristics of your ecosystem, it includes about the summary of your trophic levels. It means that it includes your trophic levels, or level 1 starts with your producers, and level 2 consumers, that includes 4 categories, and at last it ends with your decomposers. Got it? So that is the first point, and the second point is their energy flow and pyramid. So now we just discussed about the energy levels, right? Energy flow and pyramids of energy, pyramid energy, all those stuff. So that's it. So your characteristics of ecosystem is completed. Now I guess this concept you all read in your 9th grade itself, if I'm not wrong. That is related to your law of conservation of energy. So I guess this concept you all know before itself. So let me just say what this concept is all about. It is related to your law of conservation of energy. As we know that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, rather it transforms from one form to another. So in physics it means that energy gets transformed from one form to another. So light energy converted into chemical energy in the process of photosynthesis. So that is an example in the first point. And the second point is in biological systems, or in biology or biological terms, it means that the energy gets passed from one organism to another organism across the trophic levels, as one organism consumes or eats another organism for the source of its food. Got it? So in biology it means that the energy gets transferred from one organism to another organism. So this is in biological terms. I guess this concept is clear very well. With this clarity, let me move on with the next concept, and I hope so these two concepts are clear. So let me move on with the next concept, that is your energy flow. Energy flow, it describes you about the flow of energy in each of the trophic levels. So that is basically your energy flow. So energy flow, transfer of energy from one trophic level to another, depicting its direction and amount. Remember that it is not given here. Your energy flow, it is always unidirectional. so you cannot correctly say in which direction it goes on. It is unidirectional. Got it? And the amount of energy transferred or the amount of energy passed, so that also comes under your energy flow. And the second point here is it can be represented by pyramid of energy. So we know that already. In any food chain, only 10% of the energy is transferred from one trophic level to another. So remember, this is a very important point, so please note it down, that in any of the food chains, only 10%, how many percentage? 10% or 10% of the energy gets transferred from one organism to another organism, or from one trophic level to another. So this is a 1 mark question, so just remember this question. So only 10%, very important. So please note it down in your notebook so that it will be helpful for you. Okay, I guess this concept is also clear, so let me move on with the next topic. Okay, these topics are like just to note it down, so please note it down, these points. So I have gathered just 6 points. These are some important points that you should note it down in your notebook for your better understanding for this lesson. So what is the first point? The first point here is the green plants in a terrestrial ecosystem capture about 1% of the energy of sunlight that falls on their leaves and convert it into food energy. So the green plants that are situated or that is in the terrestrial ecosystem. Okay, in that ecosystem, in the terrestrial ecosystem, those green plants, they capture only. So it means that those green plants in the terrestrial ecosystem, they capture about 1% of the energy of sunlight, that is your light energy, that converts into your chemical energy, and then this energy is converted into your food energy. Got it? So it means that those plants, they capture only 1% of the energy from sunlight, and they that falls on their leaves, and with that they convert the light energy into chemical energy, and then it's converted ultimately as your food energy, that is your starch or glucose, that is your sugar, which is the end product in the process of your photosynthesis. I guess the first point is clear very well, so let us see the second point. So the second point here is, when green plants are eaten by primary consumers, a great deal of energy is lost as heat to the environment. Some amount goes into digestion and in doing work, and the rest goes towards growth and reproduction, and an average of 10% of the food eaten is turned into its own body and made available for the next level of consumers. So this point, it says us that when green plants, so the producers, when they are consumed by your primary consumers, some amount of energy gets released. It gets some amount of energy is lost. There is a loss of energy, and that loss of energy, it goes on to the environment in the form of heat. It is produced, heat is released. That heat is the excess energy, the loss of energy at each of the trophic levels. Got it? I guess this concept is clear. And some amount goes into digestion. So some amount goes into the process of digestion. Okay? And some amount even it goes in doing work as well. And the rest goes towards growth and reproduction. So the rest of the energy goes into growth and reproduction of the organisms, every living things. And average of 10%. Remember that the average of 10% of the food eaten or consumed by the organism, it is turned into its own body and made available for the next level of consumers. It means that average of 10% of the food eaten, it is stored in the organism's body itself, so that it can be available for the next level of consumers. Got it? So I guess this concept is clear. So let's see the third point here. Therefore, 10% can be taken as the average value for the amount of organic matter that is present at each step and reaches the next level of consumers. It means that 10 percentage can be taken as the average value for the amount of organic matter. Okay, so what is the percentage of average value for the amount of organic matter? It is your 10 percentage, right, that is present at each step and reaches the next level of consumers. So this is the third point. I guess the third point is clear very well. So let's move on with the fourth point. So the fourth point, you can see, since so little energy is available for the next level of consumers, food chains generally consist of only 3 or 4 steps. The loss of energy at each step is so great that very little usable energy remains after 4 trophic levels. So as I said in the starting of the video itself, at the beginning itself, I said that when the energy gets passed from one organism to another organism to another organism, it means that there is a loss of energy. It means that the energy gets diminished. It means that only less amount of energy it is available for the next level of consumers or for the next level of trophic levels. Got it? So this is the meaning for this. It means that very little usable energy only remains till the last levels. Got it? So this is your fourth point. I guess it is clear. Now let's see what is your fifth point. For the fifth point, it details you that there are generally a great number of individuals at the trophic level of an ecosystem. The greatest number is of the producers. Yeah, so that is it's just a general knowledge. We can just use the common sense to understand this. That is, we know that producers, they stand at the first level in the trophic level, right? It means that only the producers will have high amount of energy in them, right? So that is the basic concept. So that is your fifth point. It says or it intends you. I guess this is clear. So let us see the sixth point. The length and complexity of food chains vary greatly. Each organism is generally eaten by 2 or more other kinds of organisms, which in turn are eaten by several other organisms. So instead of a straight line food chain, the relationship can be shown as series of branching lines called food web. So as we know that food chain, it is like a linear one. It just goes on like this. It is a straight line. But a food web, it is like, it gives you some levels. It is like branching in pyramids, levels, all those stuff. So that branching or series of lines is known as your food web. I guess this concept is clear. So these are the 6 points that you should note it down in your notebook, because this is going to help you a lot. So let us see what we discussed. So let me say just some important points. Okay, so we discussed about food chain and food webs in detail, and the flow of energy, so on and so forth. And the important point is that we must know that another interesting aspect of food chain is how unknowingly some harmful chemicals it gets into our body. Got it? So these harmful chemicals, they get into our body due to the food chain. It means that the food we consume, that contains those harmful chemicals. How it contains those harmful chemicals, let's discuss now. So for example, when you are talking about, this is a maize field. So here maize crops will be available, right? So these crops, it means the green plants, they are fertilized with some chemical fertilizers or with some insecticides or pesticides, and those pesticides are made up of harmful chemicals that can be toxic and dangerous for human beings. And we human beings and other organisms, they consume these green plants which are the producers, and hence these toxic materials and waste materials, that is your pesticides, insecticides, fertilizers, so on and so forth, these things gets inside your body and it gets accumulated in your stomach, which is very dangerous for your body. Got it? So this is one example. And the another example here is, it can it can be also eaten, or it can also be consumed by the aquatic animals too. So when the aquatic, you have aquatic animals, right? So these aquatic animals, they consume the aquatic plants that are inside your ponds, lakes, or all those stuff. So these aquatic plants, if they are if they contain some chemical substance or something like that, when these are consumed by these aquatic animals, so those chemical products gets into the aquatic animals, and hence it causes some disease to the organisms. And that same thing happens in humans also, as we consume only chemical products, right? One of the reasons is the use of several pesticides and other chemicals to protect our crops from diseases and pests. So as I said before, when we use pesticides, insecticides and fertilizers to enrich the crops, to make the crops grow very faster and very well, and to yield more for our purpose, it causes bad effect to the ecosystem, as we human beings ourselves, we consume those crops, and hence it causes some diseases and some effects on our body. Remember that these chemicals are either washed down into the soil or into the water bodies. So these are either washed down into the soil or into the water bodies. So I guess this concept is clear. And remember that it is even harmful for the aquatic plants as well as for the animals, that is your flora and fauna, right? So one more important point, that is, this is one of the ways in which they enter the food chain. So as I gave you many examples, so these are some ways in which they here refers to the chemical fertilizers or the chemicals that enter our body through food chain. As these chemicals are not degradable, it means that they cannot be decomposed. These get accumulated progressively at each trophic level. So this is very important. So these chemicals, they get accumulated at each of the trophic levels, as they are not degradable. It means that they are non-degradable or non-biodegradable. Both are right. It means that they cannot be decomposed. As human beings occupy the top level in any food chain, remember that we human beings, we occupy the top level in any of the food chain. So we are like the head of the food chain. right? So we occupy the top level in any of the food chains. The maximum concentration of these chemicals gets accumulated in our bodies only. So as we are the top level people, it means that these chemical stuffs, it gets accumulated in human bodies only. So the maximum level of chemical concentration, it is only in our body, as we are in the top level in any of the food chains, right? So this phenomena is known as biological magnification. So this phenomena, which I said before, it is known as your biological magnification. It is just a terminology or term that you should note it down in your rough note or notebook. This is the reason why our food grains such as wheat and rice, vegetables and fruits and even meat contain varying amounts of pesticide residues. They cannot always be removed by washing or other means. So you cannot just remove this chemical stuff just by washing with tap water or something. It cannot be removed that easily. It means that they get accumulated in our body. So guys, I guess the concept is clear. So let's discuss a hot question, that is, what do you think would be the source of pesticides in these ready-made food items? Could pesticides get into our bodies from this source to other food products too? And the answer is yes. So I explained the answer for this one before itself in the previous slide. So let me just give you a brief answer for this. That is, yes, the pesticides can get into our body as we consume the ready-made food items that contains pesticides, which are very harmful chemicals that gets into our body, and it's get accumulated in our body, and it can also be transferred from this source to other food products too. Got it? So this is the answer. So this is just a brief answer, so you can even write it on your own. Got it? So this is one of the hot questions. I guess this was clear. If you want, you can even note it down. This is also an important question too. So please note it down in your notebook, or wherever you noted down important things, please note it down. So I have few questions for your homework. That is, I have 3 questions. That is, discuss what methods could be applied to reduce our intake of pesticides. Second question, what is the role of decomposers in the ecosystem? Third question, what are trophic levels? Give an example of a food chain and state the different trophic levels in it. So these questions, I guess these are very, very simple. We have discussed everything. I guess this is the one thing that you should just refer something and just find out the answer and learn. I guess the other questions, I guess we know it very well, right? So please guys, try to solve these 3 questions and post the answer in the comment section. I'll check all your answers and I'll try to revert them all back. And that's it for today's session, and this video is it ended, and I'll meet you all in my next concept with the next topic of this lesson 15, our environment. So that's it for today. Meet you all in my next video. Until then, bye bye, take care, stay tuned, and before that, please like the video if this video was very useful and informative to you, and I hope so this video was very, very helpful and even interesting. If so, please like the video, share with your friends, and please do not forget to comment in the comment section. I'll try to if you have any doubts or if you have any uncertainty regarding this video or regarding this concept, please comment it in the comment section. I'll check I'll check all your doubts, opinions, and if you want to suggest, if you have any opinions regarding this video, please post it in the comment section. I'll check all your doubts and I'll try to clarify them. I'll check all your suggestions and I'll try to revert them all back. And that's it for today. Please subscribe my channel for more videos and notifications, and please do hit the bell icon to get all kinds of notification, because your one subscription means a lot to me. Please guys, kindly subscribe my channel, because if you subscribe only, then you're going to receive the notifications from my channel. We ask you to subscribe only to make you all guys to receive my channel's notification, for nothing else. Okay, so please subscribe, please like, please share, and please comment. And that's it for today. Stay tuned. Bye bye, take care.